Meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, you know, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve an ounce. It's got next. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. Beautiful day, beautiful day. So we're going to get straight to the jugular and pull up my compadre from down in gorgeous Prince George's County. He's been involved with the clergy community and the business community for quite some time. Years ago, he gave me the Nelson Mandela Award all the way in gorgeous Prince George's. It was on a New Year's Eve, and I'll never forget it. Without further ado, the one and only. You're the one who started the revolution, Joe Gaskins.
So what Peter Francho said to me, he said, Joe, I see the problem with you are revolutionary. Well, I guess I have to accept the title, Doni. You know, you got to wear it well. That's what you have to do.
People have to respect that.
Over the many years, you know, I just was looking at your run that you just did before the show, and I just looked at the people that were there, and I looked at all the old leaders. They were there, Arnold and Robert Clay and my guy up at the forum. All those guys Ray Haysbert, right? All those guys who spent many years making
Don't forget Chet Howard. I didn't have Chet in the clip, but
yes,
that was your boy.
That was my boy. I remember the day he died, and I got a call from Senator Muson and told me to sit down. I was driving in D.C. It's one of the things that just drove a sword through my heart at that time, because we had spent so many years trying to make things change in the state.
Hank Harrington's your guy too, right?
Definitely. That Hank goes back to WSSC, and they got some issues over at WSSC that probably would not be over there if Hank was living. It seems that we're sliding backwards in this entire dynamic, and we have now an opportunity to make a big difference and change that if we can kind of control the people at the table who are going to be important in the election of our new governor. I'm already going to claim that Westmore, even though we only won a battle and not the war. I don't want to be preemptive.
A huge battle.
A huge battle.
A huge battle. there were a couple of telltale signs. Number one, when it was reported that he raised $7 million, his opponents had to feel like a school kid getting punched in the mouth and their lip bleeding for the very first time. I told them Francho had an untested jaw.
Yes, absolutely. He had a glass jaw. It reminded me of Tommy Hearns during the fight. Tommy really, you remember that. You remember that one of the guys from Prince George's back during that day, Sugar Ray Leonard. And that fight, which was a big fight for him.
Sugar
But
used to
in
do
the
that
end,
windmill on him.
yes, that's right. And that glass jaw, he went down. So I mean, that's what really is the in the story ending for Peter and his whole ordeal is that he did drag all of the individuals into the ring with him. In the end, he couldn't take the pounding of a Westmore and a Westmore team. And Donnie, I want to say that this is that on your show, and we talked about this earlier, when we came on and we did that show, and at that time, I think West might have been down between 5 and 10 points at that time.
So they say,
And
according
so
to
they
their
say,
polls.
yes, according to their polls, and they kept pushing it out there. But in the end, it was this guy who stayed in the ring, and every time you saw him, no matter what they threw at him, he was able to take it and he was able to keep going from the lies on him and the
Let's
misportrayal of an
hey,
interview.
the
You
black
know,
people who betrayed West, the black people who went after West.
yes.
There were some who
Oh,
went after him with a vengeance.
oh yes.
And
No
I'm
question.
saying to myself, I see it all the time, watch the news. 53% of the murders, I understand, in America are that of black people. I understand, I've seen it all my life. You've seen it longer than me. Us wanting to hurt another black man.
Hey, Donnie.
Now, the racists, maybe we just don't see the racists. Maybe we just don't experience the racists. But my thing is, if you want to hurt somebody, why don't you hurt somebody who's doing you harm?
Well,
But
it
we
makes sense to
we
me.
we want to hurt each, and I'm not advocating violence at
No,
all.
not at all.
But I'm saying we will hurt each other, but the one who's really doing us the hurt, we become cowards.
Oh, we kowtow to him. I think that's the word we used to use back during the day. We become subservient to the people who are violently attacking us mentally and physically on the streets for the young black kids and the police officers who will put their knees on necks and choke people and shoot them in the back, to the individuals in politics and also in economics who become pawns for major developers and major political players to be used by them. I'm talking about black folks. It's not something that's unusual. It's hereditary, and it gets passed down from generations from slavery. When
Willie Lynch. It's
Yes,
Willie Lynch.
it's Willie Lynch, and it hurts me so much when I look at this. But then when I see it's time for them to go to battle, they line up on the other side, and it hurts. It hurts me to see that. And hopefully, this election might make a difference. Or there's an old saying that you are what you are. Um, And unfortunately, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and your leopard never changes his stripes, and all those kind of things that are said. But hopefully, those individuals that were so glaringly out there, um, beating our brother down,
How they
uh,
feel? How do they feel now that the black man won?
no,
I said to myself, Joe, there's no way I cannot support this black man. He's educated. Now, I ain't no fan of Cecil Rhodes, but that's besides the point. He was able to get an academic accomplishment that America reveres. Rhodes Scholar, Johns Hopkins.
Yeah.
Then he called it the greatest research institution in the world. He was a soldier in the Middle East. He ran a
Yes.
$240 million nonprofit. And I've heard all kinds, oh, he ain't doing bad. It's like, why? How could I not support that man? I'm
Look,
proud of him. And you don't meet a black man that's accomplished just those 3 feats alone.
right.
An officer in the Middle East, Rhodes Scholar, and run a $240 million nonprofit. And it wasn't his first time making his rounds in Baltimore. I got video of him a decade ago, looking, over at the Brookings Institute. And you know what?
Yes.
He's presidential. I'll say it right here. I see him in the White House.
Yeah, I do too, Donnie. And I want to make sure that we give kudos to Professor Gibson over there in Baltimore, man.
We got
That's
Professor
that.
Gibson.
Oh, absolutely. That's my mentor. And he says, look, we're gonna win this on the ground with the signs.
You and
I don't know
Irvin
what
Lee got the same mentor.
Hey, look. In my lifetime, I've had some of the best
That's
mentors
scary.
out there. You know,
You
I
and
think
Irvin got the same mentor. That's scary.
that is scary. That is scary. But no, it's no question about it. Look, we go back to what makes this guy tick. And I pick up the phone and I talk to Wes, and I don't try to stay on his schedule much because I know what it takes in order to win this, and he's got to be dealing with everybody all the time. But he always responds with big brothers, people like you, Donnie, who are behind me that make me run and who've been there when things were tough. And you didn't go anywhere. You stood with me that
But
entire time.
we were also in the streets.
Yes, absolutely. You can't do this unless you're a street fighter. You know, you don't have the script. The script comes automatic.
And I give him credit. I gave him a long list of names
Yes.
around the state, from Southern Maryland to the Eastern Shore to Hagerstown,
Yes.
Baltimore County. And he called the people on that list.
He follows up. He's unreal.
Yes, he
I've dealt
did.
with so many political people who said, yes, I'll take care of it, but they never follow through. That I can say this about Wes is that whatever Wes says he's going to do, he does. And if you don't do it now, you're not going to do it when you become governor. And that was my motto with all of the individuals in this race. Yeah, absolutely. They cannot call you, Donnie. They cannot call you and pretend that they're going to do something for you when you call them back. They don't follow up with you, Donnie. We've seen it too long.
It's also a lesson to white males.
Yes.
You can't pick a black person and say, he's my credibility ticket. That's all I need.
Right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Especially if they never had the credibility from Jump Street.
Well, that was done on the other side so much, and it passed down from Mike Miller all the way down in politics.
They want to choose our leaders. You cannot choose our leaders.
Can't do it. And this showed it well. This showed it well. After Miller was gone, his spirit still drove that contingent of people who were self-servient and who were doing what Miller wanted them to do.
Dead?
Yeah, after he's dead, he's still driving the train. I said, this is ridiculous.
It sounds like an elephant tied to a little stick in the ground by a rope. You're an elephant. Yes. Why are you acting like a mouse?
Yes. They have they just don't have it. It's the heart that it takes. The Tin Man, the Lion, all of them lacking courage or some form of necessary component that makes you that person who you can stand up and be somebody. The kind of individual that Harriet Tubman would have shot if you were back during the revolution and you did not go with her when she was trying to free the slaves. You were useless to her in that capacity.
I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Did you know that Facebook G checked me on that? Harriet Tubman didn't free 1,000 slaves. I said, let me tell you something. She freed 72 according to your Wikipedia and your Google. But down at the Kumbaya River, she helped free almost 800 people with the help of the Union Army.
Yes, absolutely.
So she says she freed 1,000. I'm saying she freed 1,000.
That's what she freed.
Why do these social media outlets feel it's their business to tell us Black history? Did you know that if you go and try to find a picture of some famous Blacks in history, there are corporations who own the pictures, who think they own the pictures?
I know. I agree with you. Even Martin Luther King, Martin's.
Are you trying to steal our history after you put a bullet in the man? Go sit yourself down.
Yeah, it's horrific.
Sickening.
It is sickening.
It's worse than digging up the pyramids and taking King Tut stuff to England.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's totally
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Digging up people's ancestors. Who does that? Grave robbers, thieves.
Yeah, absolutely. But we all know the truth. We all know the truth.
We know Columbus ain't discovered nothing.
Yeah, but it was self-serving for that to be portrayed for many years in our schools. I mean, 1492 drilled in my brain. I even remember today that was so drilled in my brain. And then I go back and I look at my heritage too. Other than my African American side, look at my Native American side. And I said, how could you even think that you found something that was already there? To have that mental thinking to teach to kids at such a young age and just have them thinking that for their entire life is dangerous in that particular capacity and drives politics today. Because some individuals live on that philosophy and they make mistakes in the political process because they really believe that this is what I should be doing because this white guy found America and he is and I am subservient to him and I need to do what he wants me to do. And they drive that into our brain and we end up with guys like we saw at this time. Yes, you know it well and you've done it well. But look, there's a time for all of that crap to just be pushed aside. And with the election in November, successful election in November of West, we'll start to take that next step. There are people who are jumping on the bandwagon now and they are trying to figure out how. I'm not saying that they're jumping on the bandwagon because they finally said that this guy is the guy that we see him to be. But I think there is more of a jumping on the bandwagon because they're afraid that they might be left out of the economic or political or the job market when this guy becomes governor.
What happens if they are left out?
They
have some rough times like we've been having during 400 years in this country. They're having a little, they get to be uncomfortable for a minute.
Everybody deserves that. Ups and downs, you have to suffer.
So
when you're in the valley, you don't just jump out of the valley the next day. There's a period that you have to be in that valley, Donnie, and nobody gets a reprieve from that particular process. It's suffering, and I just believe that, and I've been very spiritual, that God sends us in a direction, and He allows us to make decisions, and we should be smart enough to know what's godly, what's not godly. I mean, we all make mistakes, but these kind of mistakes that these individuals made during this particular process is something that, you just cannot say, hey, look, you made a mistake. Come on and join me. Look, I love my brothers. But I do also know that your mental capacity and your mental misdirected mental capacity is something that you need to change, or otherwise you're going to pass that on to our younger individuals. And we see that there is no repercussions for making these huge and tremendous wrong decisions that misguide many people many years, Donnie, after we're gone. We only get one shot at this, dude. You've been doing it great all this time, but We need others. We need younger individuals who don't have this pre-molded mind.
So look,
To
I got to get a word in here, Joe. I want to share some things I have read that you wrote, and it goes to your spiritual background. You wrote, "It is better to lose others than to lose yourself to fit in."
absolutely, absolutely.
Hold
Whatever
up.
it takes.
Hold up. Got three more for you. You can make me out to be whatever you want me to be, but that assumption will consume you. Be careful who you let on your ship. I really like this one. Be careful who you let on your ship. Some people will sink the whole ship because they can't be the captain. And 1 hour ago, you wrote, "Never be defined by your past. It was just a lesson, not a death sentence."
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are things that I believe so tremendously. Look, God gives me a vision every morning, and I try to share that with other individuals. And I know because I get responses back from individuals that are positive, thanking me for relaying what God put delivered through me to them, that's what they needed in life. And that's the biggest portion of my waking up every morning and making those available for to inspire other individuals who are going through life's turmoils. We all need that. I've been through it. You've been through it, and we know what it's like. I was with my brother, C. Anthony Muse, the other day, and we talked about his race down at that district and how they tore him apart.
Let's talk about C. Anthony Muse. First of all, did he win?
Yes, he won. Donnie. Yes, he won. Yes, he won. Yeah,
Tell us
look,
about the struggle. We about to
he
hear it, y'all. I want you to listen to this one.
he is a phenomenal brother. Grew up, uh, grew up as a kid, left in the middle of a church. His mother couldn't deal with the circumstances that she was in. Um, Left him and his brother there. He got sent into foster homes all of his life, and he was told as a young kid that he'd never be anybody. Um, and he was able to climb out of that with determination. He said he finished high school. He was the oldest guy sitting up in high school trying to get that degree. Went on, got his the bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. Went on, fought the system, and was in Annapolis hard, very, very hard. Was a guy that we could go to when something was wrong in the community and would stand up. But also a guy that individuals challenged so hard. The elected leadership did not want him to be in power.
Didn't
He
want
was
him to be a U.S. senator.
yes, absolutely, absolutely, a guy who
So
should have
we
been
got the
there.
black governor. We still ain't got the black senator yet.
We don't have the black senator. Still got a long ways to go down. But a step in progress. Let's lock this one down. It's not going to be easy because Trump's people are still. I looked at the Arizona race and I looked at that and I said, well, I
If
didn't expect
Westmore
any
don't
more.
win, there will be war in Maryland. I'm predicting it. There's no way on God's green earth. First of all, Ehrlich and Hogan won because of black people. Cox
Absolutely.
ain't getting no black votes. He loses.
Yes, he
Basic
loses.
math.
Basic math.
You got a
But
Hogan, you got a Ehrlich because Baltimore and Prince George's were on the same page.
yes,
With
yes.
Westmore, Baltimore and Prince George's were on the same page.
Yeah, there's
That's
no
the
doubt.
connect that so many people miss. When you and I are on the same page,
We win.
whoever we support win.
That's right. That's
If they
right.
don't know, now they know.
Now you know. Absolutely.
You can go
So,
get the Baltimore Sun and the Washington Post.
right.
You saw when the Washington Post endorsed Peter Franchot,
Yep.
the Baltimore Sun being the mimics that they are, followed suit because they couldn't come up with an original idea of their own.
Look, Donnie,
Flacco was dead and stinking. They tried to give Perez some boost, but here's the problem. I have not seen Perez since 2006. How you gonna run for governor and I haven't seen you since 2006? Me, I ain't seen you.
Hey, look, I'm with you, Donnie. Look, and what hurt me on that when
And he come talking black. I hate when non-blacks start talking black.
Look, I got phone calls out of Virginia. My cousin called me out of Virginia and says, Joe, who is this guy Perez? I said, don't listen to that. Well,
anyone drop Barack Obama name. Look here, chump. I ain't seen you, so don't be mentioning Barack.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I said misusing images and words that were not created for the commercial to deceive black individuals, black voters who are naive to come out and vote for you. You know, come on. You know, black folk, you know, if you bought into that,
sucker.
Yes, absolutely.
I got some Brooklyn. I got a piece of the Brooklyn Bridge I want to sell you for $500.
Absolutely. You know, I really just have serious problems with.
And then I got a problem with the unions telling me who to vote for.
Yeah, no, they don't have the right to do that.
I don't think you belong in politics.
No, they need to stay
because
out of
I've
politics.
seen the union give us a horrible state senator in my district. I've seen them try to give another horrible state senator in another district, all because of this union. Well, that's not how you win my vote.
No, I'm with you. And that's my problem with the unions too, the union leadership. I'm saying not unions, but not the concept of a union, but the leadership of the unions use those unions and those people to direct whatever their prerogative is. It's not necessarily good for
the unions
African Americans.
More involved in the community, and they ought to do more follow-up on the people that they put in office.
Right. So, they didn't come out to support West in this race. They were totally behind Perez. That's why he was able to do well in counties like Calvert County, which is a strong county. But their misdirection on those small counties meant that they were going to lose. Their focus were on the labor counties. When you have a more intelligent-led unions like the teachers union, you'll get different results. They knew the handwriting was on the wall that the best candidate was Wes Moore. They came out and they endorsed Wes. But these labor unions who are so driven that do not want minority businesses to be a part of the economic empowerment structure. They've worked for years.
We're supposed to vote for somebody that's going to keep their foot on our neck.
Yes, absolutely. That's the message that they send you to do that, Donnie. But they also keep you out of the business end of it. And people got to understand this when it comes to the construction industry. So their project labor agreements, in which I would, if I was their leadership, I guess that's what you would say would be the most important thing for their survival to do. But if you mandate that all of the businesses, construction businesses, have to be union, who's controlling the businesses? Is it the unions or is it the minority owners of their businesses? And you drive those businesses out because they cannot afford, or they're dictated by the union. You take away the ability for them to survive in a capitalistic market, and you have a control mechanism over them. I've always said that we can't, certain things and tools that help us to get to one level become detrimental at the next level. Now, when our forefathers and uncles got jobs, they ran, and the unions were the most productive piece there to fight for them. But when your productive piece becomes so dominant that it overtakes the component that's going to mean that you move the next step and it keeps you from moving it, then it becomes problematic. So there's a lot of things that we're going to have to do with the unions.
I want to share this with you here in Baltimore. Of course, you're coming up. Let me just put this event up. I wanted to plug this. you're coming up on Monday as we recognize Black Business Month. August is Black Business Month for those who didn't know. For the past 18, 19 years, we're having an event here in Baltimore, Darker Than Blue. Special thanks to Casey Jenkins, Rondi Griffin, and Divine Light. We're going to be honoring some people. We want to also bring attention to the strong bond and make it even stronger. The bond between gorgeous Prince George's County and Baltimore, home of the two largest Black jurisdictions in the state of Maryland. And whoever wins our support tends to win the governorship. But it was something I wanted. Oh, you were mentioning unions. I put a video out there of this Black man who started a union in Baltimore just after the Civil War. His name was Isaac Myers, and he helped build the ship caulkers, the Black Ship Caulkers Union. And this is just after the Civil War. He was the president right here in Baltimore. The second president, you'll never guess who it was.
A white guy.
Frederick Douglass.
Oh my God. Okay. Absolutely. Okay.
Black Ship Caulkers Union. And it by being the first, it caused other Black unions to be formed in other port cities around the country.
That's knowledge. Now, are any of those unions still existing now?
Do they have ship caulkers like that before?
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
But it was a reminder,
yes,
that even during slavery, because they started, Isaac Myers was born like 1832. So by the time they formed the union, he was a free man his whole life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a reminder that more of us were free. We
no
tend
question.
to think that all Blacks were slaves. We tend to think that all whites were free.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Indentured servants, slaves, whites that were in that capacity too. You don't see many pictures. No. And you certainly don't see the discrimination and the racism and the horrific abuse of people. But all that being said, we've always been strong.
Yes.
Prince George's County. There's a strong Black history in Prince George's County.
Oh, it's no question about it. It's no question.
Tell us who Hank Arrington was.
Hank was the first. He started off as a running the MBE program. First time African American ran the MBE program for WSSC. Prior to that, he was the mayor of a city called Sea Pleasant, Maryland, who you know well of. I think the mayor Eugene Grant was
that's the brother with the cape.
With the tent, the mayor,
I ain't
mobile
never
mayor.
seen a cat with a cape till I met Mayor Eugene Grant.
That's
he got a cape.
That's right. Look, but Hank was the mayor who went to meetings with a gun, a pistol, with him. He's a man. He was I'm gonna just say rough and hard. He was not going to be dictated to. In fact, he was a guy that locked up Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump was a slumlord in Sea Pleasant, owned real estate properties when he was a young man working for his father. So he came down to Sea Pleasant, okay, and he got arrested because there were warrants issued for his arrest where he failed to appear in court. Okay, that's phenomenal. This is this brother, right? So he went on. He became after he did the MBE program for the county. He went on and became the commissioner at WSSC, and then became a business person until his passing. I think in 2021, it might have been earlier this year. But a tremendous individual, always out front, always a drum major, a leader and not a follower. And we are proud of the work that Hank has done in Prince George County. Such a tremendous individual, influencing
You know,
many people along the way.
quite often leaders like that are often misunderstood in life, and it's not until after they're gone that we truly appreciate what they brought to the table.
Yes. No, that's
Like when I
absolutely
think
true.
of Bob Clay,
Yes.
and first of all, he represented black manhood.
A farm phenomenal. You know, my story on Bob, we've been always were close. He was maybe about 10 to 12 years older than I was. But I came through Prince George, the chairman of the Prince George County Contractors Association, and he was leading his group, Maryland Contractors Association, Minority Contractors Association at the time. And my construction company at the time was going through a turmoil with some inspectors who didn't want an African American company to succeed. They were holding up our payments at in the county because he wouldn't sign off on the project. And I called Bob up. I said, Bob, I need some cash. Can you loan me some money? He said, Joe, what do you need? I said, whatever you can loan me, man. He says, come on over. Came over. He says, here's a check for 10,000. He said, it's not a loan. Take that. I've never seen, I've never seen a brother call me up to tell me to do that. He was such a tough guy, and people don't know Robert Clay, man. Robert Clay was the kind of guy that would stand in front of Baltimore City. He would be down there, and he wasn't just a guy who would just go down there and be a fly on the wall. This guy was up front. Between him and Arnold, those were the two most aggressive leaders of minority businesses in the state of Maryland. And everybody respect them. And he was so powerful that the system saw that they had to eliminate him from the system. That's how powerful this
Have
brother
you ever
was.
met Dr. Tyrone Taborn?
I have not met Dr. I've heard of Dr. Taborn, but I've never heard of him. I've never met him personally.
He runs the Black Engineer of the Year Awards. He's developing his own metaverse. It's called STEM City USA, and they are proud sponsors of our work. And let me tell you, I don't know that Tyrone is as gangster
Yeah.
as Bob Clay, but he's certainly a big supporter of black business. I wanted to share this with you. I found out last night that Don Moore will be one of our honorees on Monday. We're giving her
Oh, man, that
a
is
Lifetime
great.
Achievement Award. We are so
Okay,
proud of her.
absolutely,
They say
absolutely.
behind, I'm going to say beside every great man is a great woman.
Oh, no question, no question.
She is
Look,
such a supporter, such teamwork. I saw with my own eyes devils trying to drive wedges, and the devil had no power. They got the Holy Ghost protecting that family. And as I advise any candidate, what I care more about is that your family stays together after this is over.
absolutely,
And so they
absolutely.
came through it kind of like, you know, even though they went through the storm, they had on their raincoat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You knew
Let
they
me.
went through a blizzard, they had on their parka. They were covered.
Yeah, there's no question. Let me share this with you on Dawn. I knew Dawn when she was first met Dawn when she was working with
Anthony
Kathleen
Brown.
Kennedy.
Oh,
Kathleen Kennedy before.
oh, Kathleen.
Kathleen Kennedy, and she was there, and she was the only African American who was up front in that particular campaign. So we were all at a country club, Woodmore Country Club.
I love
Uh,
Woodmore. That's the first place I went to in
right.
Prince George. Do
Well,
they have my house ready yet? Because I'm
well,
all
look,
ready to move in.
look. This is a story that I tell her, and she is surprised that I remember this. So Kathleen had given her a speech, and she was getting ready to close, and before she was about to close, Dawn thought it was very important that she would tell everybody that there were sons available. So she whispered to uh, Kathleen and said, there are signs available for anybody who want to take them out front. So Kathleen responded to her and said, uh, isn't she cute?
That's why she lost, because she was so disrespectful.
She
That's why she got
disrespect.
her ass whipped in old.
Absolutely. Right. And
And we
told
didn't miss
her.
at all, because she looked down her nose at black people.
Absolutely.
She had this false sense of who she is or who she thought
Yes.
she was.
And
She goes to get an
paying.
overnight Republican, Charles R. Larson, the Admiral,
Absolutely.
and Ehrlich and Steele whipped her arse
Look, let me tell you,
up
Donnie.
and down the street.
Look, you cannot dispel
Hey,
God's.
Kathleen, she cute, ain't she?
Yeah, she's cute, ain't you? But don't interrupt my speech. I said, okay, now, Kathleen, you'll
Hey,
get a
Kathleen,
chance.
where you at now?
Yeah, you get a chance to see this. And and I don't like to talk about what God does in your life, but
God don't like ugly.
God certainly doesn't like ugly. And so you follow that and you see the dissension and the accent of the two individuals, and one now moving toward being the first lady of the
The
state of
state of
Maryland. And
mind.
and every time I see Dawn, I tell her, Dawn, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you're doing and the fact that you've moved and maneuvered through the process. You found a great person, a great husband in West, and you guys are going to be our next governor. I couldn't be a happier person. If I died now, I would feel fulfilled
Me too.
in them becoming the governor and the
You
first
know,
lady.
before we started this fight, in the 20 years or so I've known you, we saw Michael Steele.
Yes.
Then we saw the Democrats have to respond.
Yes.
But first, we made a decision. Like Zach McDaniels always say, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting.
Yes.
We made a decision back in 2002 that we deserve more.
Absolutely.
We don't like you telling us what we need. We're going to tell you what we need. And if you don't give us what we need, we're going to find somebody who do. So
Yes.
first you got Michael Steele.
Mm-hmm.
That made the Democrats have to get an Anthony Brown.
That's right. Wouldn't have happened unless you had a Michael Steele. That's
and
correct.
and Martin O'Malley thought Anthony Brown was a sucker, but
Yep.
that's why Anthony Brown come back and stomp mud holes. With all due respect, Miss Katie, but you got to stomp.
Yes.
Stomp mud holes in Katie O'Malley. Nice lady out here, but we just remember 1 in 6 of us getting locked up, and we ain't hear nobody. Not Katie, not Captain Chesapeake, not nobody. Captain Chesapeake's little cartoon here. Nobody was speaking up for us. But then the Republicans go and get Boyd Rutherford. And I'm going to say it. Wouldn't be no Larry Hogan without Boyd Rutherford.
That's correct. That's correct.
Because you had to win Baltimore and Prince George's. Mike Steele already set the precedent. We saw the synergy between Prince George's and Baltimore. And while all of our people don't get it, I get it.
Yeah.
We need Prince George's. Prince George's needs us. We need each other. We brothers.
Yes.
We're brothers.
Yes, absolutely. That's correct.
Now
and we don't have look, and they need to hear that again. You need to say that again. We're all brothers in this. There is no division, or shouldn't be any division between Prince George County and Baltimore City.
Not here.
No, absolutely. There is no wall between those two. Come on.
Big brother, when you invite me down to Prince George's, when we do events in Prince George's, I get it as much, if not more love. I'll never forget the Black Wall Street we did at Darnell Long spot, Old Town Inn.
Yes.
We packed it to the max, people out on the street.
Yes.
And it's just I got a big ups to Peggy Morris.
Oh, yeah.
Peggy Morris is some of the glue that keeps us together. Mark Spencer.
Absolutely.
That's my big brother there.
Yeah.
You don't want him to pull out them law books on you.
Mark's been in the game for a long, long time. I mean,
True
a long,
blue.
long time.
I remember his daddy. Wonderful man.
Yeah, he's the man behind the scene when Jack Johnson was the state's attorney, and Mark was the guy who was guiding the office. So
You
people
know, as
don't
I
know that.
think about it, Prince George's has lifted some of our best and brightest from Baltimore.
Yes,
Irvin Reed's from Baltimore,
yes. You're right.
from Cherry Hill.
He's from Baltimore, and I just said that Dr. C. Anthony Muse is Baltimore,
Park Heights.
Park
Deb,
Heights.
your
Absolutely.
friend Deborah Carter,
Deborah as well.
first
More,
black school teacher in Baltimore County.
went to Morgan State. Phenomenal person. First, was his secretary, assistant secretary
Check
of
this out.
on the Ehrlich's administration.
Bowie
Phenomenal
State.
people.
Bowie
Yes.
State is the home team for the CIAA here in Baltimore.
Bowie State.
And I need to connect with that president.
Oh yeah, no problem.
That queen president. I gotta meet her and have her on this show. I need her. I need y'all to make that happen.
We're gonna make it happen.
CIAA is coming up, and we don't want to wait to build this synergy. We need to be growing this synergy now, not just when the tournament. It should be all year long.
That's right. I agree. I agree 100%. We're working on
that. I love her style. She's a one classy person.
Oh, no question.
President of Bowie State.
Yeah. Bowie has gone a long distance from being.
And they were founded in Baltimore. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I do know that at one particular point in time, they were almost predominantly white at one particular period. Yeah, they were. They were a black unit, HBCU, but because it was located in Bowie at the time, that was predominantly white, and all the students went there and was treated more like a community college.
Her name is Dr. Aminta Bro.
Yes, absolutely. Now we'll make sure that happens, Donnie.
She's gorgeous too.
Sure. Yes, a tremendous and extremely intelligent and a master of skills. No question about it.
No, she and the president of Lincoln have been working together on a CIAA, and it's just so beautiful to see dynamic women leading the way, as they always have been a part of our progress. The dynamic women. Quite often we fall into the wrong thinking of not having them sisters where they should be. The sisters supposed to be guiding this ship too.
A huge mistake.
Huge mistake.
Yes, huge mistake.
You discount them sisters, you asking for trouble.
Tell them about it. I mean, I've seen it in the political structure extremely well. In fact, that was on
Franco slighted Deborah Carter.
Oh yeah, no, he crushed Deborah Carter in her attempt. After she
crushed him.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
He didn't know who he was messing with.
Yes, that's right.
Deborah gonna pick up the phone and make a phone call.
Oh yes. No, he didn't know the power of her Rolodex. He did not know the power of her Rolodex. And Deborah has a tremendous
Franco outside the next meeting he came out of, gave him a black eye.
Hey, look, that was a move. That was a very detrimental move on his part to treat her in such a way that it was embarrassing, disrespectful, and to pick up individuals who were systematic individuals who he thought were going to be more powerful and who were going to bring him the votes. And we beat them bad.
He promised Darrell Bonds. Darrell, you know I was coming with this. He promised Darrell Bonds the Secretary of Commerce. What got me that Darrell Bonds tried to play like that wasn't so.
No,
when I called him on the carpet on it, he looked like the World Trade about to get hit by them planes.
Well, he knew that Donnie was gonna come after him. So you don't pull no punches.
But I was polite. But I felt very much lied to. And if you lie to me over little things, clearly you're gonna lie about bigger things. I mean, do you think? Well, it's hypothetical. Have we ever had
no, he would not. I'll respond to that. You didn't even answer the question. No, hell no. He would not have done that. That would never have happened. And I know Peter. I know Peter since 2005.
I
And I
remember,
know,
hey, I've known him before that. I was a
right.
social services commissioner when he was a delegate. And
Okay.
he questioned why Baltimore needed so much help because we got most of the poverty. But then I noticed as he became comptroller, he tried to clean up his act.
Yes.
I'll never forget it. The Black Caucus event Daryl Barnes gave, Francho went first, told the black people at the Black Caucus meeting on the black agenda, he told them to go to his website. Who do you think he is? Who do you think we are? Do we think we that stupid? He said, go to my website. My wife is sick and I got to go. Bye-bye. Is that what happened?
Yes. Yes. It's absolutely. But you don't even know what happened before that, Donnie. Before that, just 15 minutes before that, he was not going to get out of his car. They had to force him to get out of his car. He was in his car. He was crying in his car because he couldn't get up enough nerve to get out to go to this meeting to meet with black folk. So his wife's sickness was a way for him to duck and get out early. No, he locked himself in the car.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because he could not go and face black groups of people. He could not do that. He did the same thing on the NAACP online. He couldn't even go online and do that with them. So his computer, mysteriously, everybody's on. All the other candidates are on, and you can't see his face. And then you couldn't hear his voice. Yes. No, he is. This guy's got some serious issues. So I recognize that.
He talked down to us, though. He talked down to us like he was. You remind me of Count Dracula, but he talked down to black people like we weren't on his level.
Yes, true. That's the kind of person he was. He was that kind of person.
Our mothers told us we are not better than anybody, but nobody is better than us. His mother.
Yeah, I've always, my heritage won't even allow that to be a part of. That's people look at me and wonder why. That's never been a part of my makeup and my family's makeup. So for me, it's for you to come at me that way. I mean, it's just something that's you're wrong. Your approach is wrong. Your approach is wrong. And we never lived. My family never lived that life. We were never subjected to, on my mother's side, slavery at all. So on that part of the family, we're free. And on my grandfather's side of the family, we were always business people in the community. So nobody gave us anything. We were never sharecropping for nobody. We didn't do any of that. We were always people who made our way through life. So it was instilled in me, and I instilled that into my daughters. My two daughters are doctors. They are doctors, and I say that they take that from their grandfathers, great grandfathers, genes, who was a doctor in the community. So it's your hereditary, what's passed down there with that strength, that knowledge base, all that stuff that's sent through you through your genes. And that's what you have that's sent through you along with your godly spirit. And it propels you to this next state that people wonder how you can say these things and be comfortable with what you're saying. You can be truthful and honest.
I gotta put a sister's name in this conversation because early on, when I heard this sister got slighted, they didn't know who they were messing with. Lisa Ellis.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Lisa Ellis was Francho's number one.
Number one. Number one.
And he slighted that black woman?
She is the one that took him from 0 to 100.
So she showed him how to do it.
She showed him how to do it in the black community. He had no clue on how to do that at all. All of his staff were all white or one Filipino individual. His Manny, chief of staff at the time. And this is after his chief of staff. He had turned on his chief of staff and gotten rid of his seasoned chief of staff. put them in place, and then they had one black female in the office who were leading them. And as you said, yes, it was Lisa Ellis who was leading his entire charge, taking them to Anne Arundel, Howard County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Prince George County, Bowie State, Morgan, giving him entree into those particular communities,
And he,
into the major churches until she found out what kind of person he was. And she was told by him
after years,
after years that the
she
reason
found
why
out who he was on the campaign trail.
on the campaign trail she recognized this. And then they got upset with her because as they indicated, she could not deliver uh, black leaders like myself and C. Anthony Muse. You can't control your black leadership. This is a statement that really bothered her, and it bothered C. Anthony Muse and myself too. Is that you would have a person uh, who you thought was a respectful person as a comptroller to really show this side of you.
He never
And
liked
then,
black people. I saw him. I know who he is. He never liked black people.
yes, yeah, I'm saying it was the fact that we work with him as campaign consultants. He showed us a little different side. I saw it. I saw it on his literature when he came to us, and it was a total all white Lily community. It looked like a document or a promotion out of the 60s or so. And we looked at it and we said, you can't sell this in Prince George County. You got to this is a racial community. So trash all of that and create a new product. So we made him do that in order for him to come back in the election to defeat, at that time, Donald Schaefer, Donald Schaefer, who was leading the race by about 41%. And Peter was polling around 8 to 9% during that election for. But we took him from last place, seriously last place, to first place at the end of the day. Now, he who
He
said that,
forgot
OJ.
what side his bread was buttered on.
Yes, he did.
But
Yes,
he
he did.
had plenty of time to think about it now.
He'll think about it on the sideline. And unfortunate, I had that conversation with him after. He called me after he made a decision to bring on his running mate. And I told him, I said, that's a bad decision. I said, well, you're losing one of your top individuals who got you this far. I like Monique as a person, but she's not the person that's going to take you there
No
to your next
loyalty.
level. No loyalty, so you're going to lose. You're going to lose on this particular end. And
He betrayed people who had been loyal to him, and then he picked up something new. And it's just a reminder, going back to some of those posts that you have made, we can't ever allow ourselves to be held hostage.
Yes, no.
By people who only trying to take advantage of us.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. See, but if you're not grounded in spiritual, uh, the spirituality, then you use terms like I was lucky. You don't use I was blessed.
Blessed, grace and mercy. To God be the glory.
So those are the things that I notice with people when I deal with them, and they don't project that image. I run away, as my buddy Stan Tucker says, "Run, Joe, run." Whenever you see
run,
something,
Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe.
That's right. Now, if you don't see it,
at your door.
Hey, look, that's right, absolutely, and we're going to continue that particular, along with our next steps, to empower the people of the state of Maryland. If I'm involved in any capacity, and I expect I will, if you're involved in any capacity, I expect that you will. We're going to take the state of Maryland to another stage. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be
up to Baltimore and Prince George's. I pray that besides Black business, that we can help elevate your school district, our school district, because we're at the bottom, and it's time for a task force to get these two school systems where they can and should be.
Yes. No question. We
We
have
will,
to.
we will see you on Monday at
Yes.
Recognizing Black Business. People can RSVP to Black Business Month on Eventbrite. Joe, we appreciate all that you have done. Again, I thank you for my Nelson Mandela Award, and can't
You
wait till
deserve
you invite me down to Woodmore for a crab cake again.
it. No question, brother. All right. I appreciate it, Donnie. Thank
Have a
you. See
great
you
day.
Monday.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Good morning, world.